Reddit fresh. Am I the idiot for breaking a patient's confidentiality to tell my friend that her boyfriend is HIV positive? This has been eating me up inside for the past week, so I'm going to lay it all out here. One of my closest friends, Amanda, started dating a guy, Matt, about 2 months ago. I'd met him twice before and he seemed pretty seedy to me, but she was happy, so overall I was happy for them. I work at our local hospital. I won't divulge too much about my role, but I am not involved in providing medical care. That is, I am not a physician or nurse. But I do have access to patient records and am permitted to look through them under certain circumstances with ethics approval. I came across Matt's chart just over a week ago. I was not snooping. I was explicitly gathering patient information for an approved task, and he was one of the patients in the pile of charts. It's not too much of a coincidence. I was going through 500 patient records, and this is the only nearby hospital. I discovered that Matt was HIV+ from his chart. I was unsure whether Amanda was aware. I wrestled with this in many different directions. Should I mind my own business and not violate confidentiality and risk her contracting the disease? Should I approach him first, even though it's not my place and we've only met twice? Should I go straight to her just to confirm that she knows? Ultimately, I felt an obligation to her as my friend and to her well-being, so I told her. Knowing her, I felt like she was unaware since she is generally extremely risk-averse, and something seemed off about this guy, so I felt like approaching him might not accomplish anything. She was shocked to find out about his HIV status and broke up with him. Amanda was thankful to me, but evidently she let him know how she found out, as I was let go from my position 2 days ago. I understood the risk I was taking and was hoping it was a calculated risk, but now I'm wondering if I overstepped by breaking confidentiality. Am I the idiot? Edit. To be clear, confidentiality isn't something I take lightly. In my 8 years in this position, I have never once broken confidentiality. This is something I really wrestled with internally before deciding to come forward to Amanda, not the idiot. Yeah, it's illegal, but HIV is an incurable, lifelong disease that no one would wish upon a friend. Best case scenario, you saved her life, and worst case, you can't get another job in the medical field, so I think it's worth it, to be honest. Why protect some seedy guy and risk your friend's health? Everyone sucks here, except for your friend Amanda. He sucks for not divulging his HIV status to a sexual partner. You suck for violating this confidentiality and giving away someone's medical details. It's possible that you will be barred from ever working in this field again. It is ultimately Amanda's responsibility to look after her own sexual health, and it is none of your business to give up someone's HIV status without their consent. Now for the next story, am I the idiot for buying a $50,000 guitar for $4,000 and refusing to sell it back when the buyer found out the real value? This happened a while back. My wife and I still talk about it every once in a while. She's on my side and most of our friends and family are. However, when it happened, it was like WW3 between us and her co-workers and others. Here we go. I've been playing the guitar for 22 years. I know guitar values and whatnot very well. I'm very into the guitar market. At my wife's old company, she was hanging out with co-workers one day after work and she mentioned that I play guitar. A co-worker who I guess is very popular at work said that his dad passed away and he was selling his dad's things. His dad had a guitar and asked my wife if I'd be interested in it. My wife texted me and I said to have him send me the info on the guitar and the price. The next day he texted me the pics and price. It was a 1952 Telecaster in mint condition. He had the original receipts, which was crazy. That's how I knew the date. I asked what he wanted for it, and he said he looked up Telecasters online and he thinks $4,000 is fair. I texted back, I'll take it for $4,000, and went to pick it up. The guitar had no sentimental value to him at all. Here's the issue at hand. The guitar is worth approximately $50,000 depending on the buyer, and I knew it. When I got the guitar, I told my wife the price and what it was worth. She was floored. Fast forward 2 weeks, her coworker tells my wife he just found out what the guitar was actually worth from a family friend and wanted it back. She said, well, he really likes the guitar and he knew it was worth $50,000, which is why he was floored you offered it to him for $4,000. He really likes it and I doubt he will sell it back, but you can ask. Probably not the smartest thing for her to say, but she was caught off guard and it's not her fault or problem. He contacted me and asked to buy it back. I said that it's not for sale. He then said I scammed him and he was going to sue me and take my wife to HR for being a part of the scam, which was nuts. But he actually did contact HR. They were cool about it and said it's not their problem. It's between him and me. Over the next few months, he made things very uncomfortable for my wife at work. He would bug her constantly about it. She eventually had to go to HR for harassment and they actually let him go. She complained twice and he was warned and didn't stop. He's contacted me several times about it, so I got a restraining order for harassment too. I blocked him too. I haven't heard from him in about a year. Am I the idiot? Update. Well, this post blew up way beyond what I was expecting. It looks like I was voted not the idiot. There's over 5,000 comments. I couldn't read them all, but I did read a lot. Just to clear up some things. I left some things out because I didn't want it to influence opinions, and really wanted it to be about me buying a guitar at significantly lower market value versus the people in the story. I did include the fact that the guy was harassing my wife at work, not to make the guy sound bad, but because I thought it was relevant to the story. Here's some specific details I chose not to include. The guy and his dad were not close at all. So those people saying he was grieving and I took advantage of him, that is 100% not the case. When I went to get the guitar, he was telling me he hadn't talked to his dad in 6 years and was actually annoyed he had to deal with a funeral. The dad bought the guitar new and never played it. Luckily, it was stored in a closet and not in a basement or attic. There's no issue with the wood or electronics. It plays like a dream and I couldn't be happier. I am not selling the guitar to the son or anyone. It will be with me for a long time. I'm in my 30s, so maybe in 30 years it will find a new home. I would have maybe considered giving the guy more money, or giving him one of my guitars to sell on his own. But I decided not to do that after he left a terrible voicemail on my phone the day he found out the real value. He demanded it back like he was entitled to an object he sold fair and square, called me a POS, called my wife a POS, and said he would do bad things if I didn't sell him the guitar back. And to those people who say they would have told the guy the real value, that's a load of horse poop. If you went to a garage sale, estate sale, and saw an item worth $5,000 priced at $50, there's not a snowball's chance in hell you would walk up to the homeowner and tell them they mispriced it. You'd buy the item and then tell all your friends and family what a great score you got. Don't even kid yourself like you wouldn't do that. I don't feel bad about buying an awesome guitar at a steal of a price. I was curious what others would think, and it looks like I'm not the idiot, so thank you, Reddit. I can play the guitar with zero guilt now. Not like I felt guilty before, but now my feelings are justified. Everyone sucks here. You blatantly took advantage of him and his ignorance. He sucks because he didn't research it enough, and then harassed you and your wife to the point it got him fired. Just a whole messy situation. I don't think you should sell it back to him. You paid a price he gave you. Bad on him. You just seriously took advantage of him. Bad on you. You're the idiot. I can't believe how many votes there are for the opposite. This guy sold his late dad's possession in good faith and you took advantage. This isn't even a random person, a colleague, and assume some kind of friend. For everyone going on about how the guy should have researched properly, if he doesn't know anything about guitars, he probably had no way of knowing what he was looking for. What a shitty thing to do. You should have told him what it was worth. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for keeping a lost pet until the owner paid the advertised reward? This weekend I was walking through the park and I saw a cat that looked like one I had seen on posters that were posted around the neighborhood. They said there was a reward of $500 for finding their lost cat. So I caught the cat, which was pretty easy since he was friendly, and checked a poster to see if it was him. It was. I went home, put him on the back porch, and called the number on the poster to let them know I found their cat. They were happy that I found him and said they could come pick him up right away. I confirmed that there was a $500 reward, texted the guy a picture of the cat, and gave him my address. This is where the problem started. When he got to my house, I asked for the reward money before returning the cat. He said that there actually isn't a reward, and that he only advertised one to increase the chance that people would look for his cat. I told him that I wasn't going to give his cat back until he paid the promised reward, and that he shouldn't have posted one if he didn't want to pay one. He then got angry and threatened to call the cops if I wouldn't give him the cat. I said that he was welcome to, and that I would be happy to get things on the record in case I had to take him to small claims court. He begrudgingly told me that he would be back later with the money. Later that night, he came by with the full $500. I gave him his cat, and that was the end of it. When I told my girlfriend about it, she thought I should have just given him back the cat since it cost me nothing to catch him, and that everyone was having hard times right now. Some of my friends also think that the guy was probably desperate to get his pet back, and that it was kind of shitty for me to profit from a lost animal. I still think that if you post a reward, you should pay it, and that the guy probably just wanted to save $500 and get the benefit of advertising a reward without paying it. So am I the idiot? Everyone sucks here. He is an idiot for lying about the reward. You are the much bigger idiot here without a shadow of a doubt. You literally held that poor cat hostage from the owner in order to get $500. How disgustingly misguided is your moral compass. Way to try and make money off someone's misfortune. Next time, give him the cat and tell him he's a prick for lying, end of. Not the idiot. All valid points. But why did he confirm via text he would give you a reward, then tell you no to your face? Obviously, he was hoping to get the cat and run. If he had money issues and couldn't pay you, why didn't he just say so? Also, if your friends were in your position, they probably would do the same thing. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for not letting my husband go to the funeral of the baby he conceived with his mistress? This is extremely difficult to talk about with anyone I actually know, and is a secret from a lot of friends and family members. Posting on an alt in the hope that people here can give me an honest answer. My husband of 10 years had an affair that lasted approximately 6 months. He cut it off when I found out. We went to couples counseling, etc. Turns out the woman was pregnant though, and intent on keeping the baby. I understood that if she gave birth, my husband would have to do his part in supporting that child, at the very least financially. Tragically though, the baby was stillborn. I wasn't looking forward to this baby coming, but I didn't wish for this either. My husband's former mistress has sent details about the funeral. I don't think he should attend. He never got to meet this child and wasn't even there at the hospital when everything happened. If this was a child he knew at all, of course my opinion would be different. But as of now, I don't feel comfortable with him going. He, bizarrely, said maybe I should go with him. That's a no. I obviously am not going to attend this funeral and make the woman and her whole family uncomfortable. Despite my disdain for her, I am not going to disrupt her mourning. There are a few people in the family that are aware of the situation. My husband's sister, my mother-in-law, and my mother. His sister thinks he should go to the funeral. My mother says if he goes, I should divorce him. Mother-in-law refuses to comment on the situation at all. So I'm at a loss, really. Am I in the wrong given the circumstances? No idiots here. I can't see anyone being in the wrong here about the funeral. Your husband is obviously TA for having a mistress. It's complicated. His child did die, but I can also see how you are hurt by the whole thing even existing, and the funeral is just a reminder of that. I would let him go, but I don't think you're the idiot for not wanting him to either. Not the idiot. I am biased because my ex-husband had a child with another woman when we were together. No one can understand the emotions you went through during this, unless they have been in the situation. And even then, there are so many variables to consider. Like the baby mama who clearly has no problem having unprotected sex with a married man. Why would OP want her husband around her ever again? Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for being pissed at my parents for taking us to Athens, Georgia instead of Athens, Greece? I'm 17 and always wanted to go to Greece. I love Greece so much to the point where I taught myself how to speak Greek, both Standard and Cypriot, and I can read ancient Greek. I've read the Iliad, Odyssey, and many other of Homer's books in ancient Greek, and I watch TV, sports, movies, and play video games in Greek, and I got online Greek friends who I do it with in Greek. I've got Greek friends in Athens, Thessaloniki, and Larnaca that I want to meet. So that's why I was so excited when my parents said they would take us on a family vacation to Athens. This would be the first time I would leave the country and go on a plane. This happened during an amazing party, but if it was during the only time we could go to Greece, I would do it. My friends understood. I made a plan of everything I wanted to see in Greece: Meteora, Olympiakos Stadium, Acropolis, Plaka, among other things all over Athens. And if we had time, perhaps Thessaloniki, Sparta, or some other cities. I also made it a priority to go check out universities in Greece, as that's where I want to go. I showed my parents this and they were like, yeah, sure you can do that, we don't care. The trip is in February. We flew to Atlanta. I assumed it was a layover. We landed and my parents said we need to get to the hotel and need a rental car. Weird, but whatever, wasn't paying attention. Well, we drove for an hour or so and I fell asleep in the car, and then we got to Athens, Georgia, and my parents said, "Hey, we're here, wake up, sleepyhead." And I saw a sign that said, "Welcome to Athens, Georgia." My sister starts laughing her ass off, and my dad starts giggling. I asked them if this was a joke, and they said no, that we're going on vacation to Athens, Georgia, to my dad's friend's lake house. I have never been more angry in my entire life. We were at a gas station and I argued with my parents. They told me I was a disrespectful brat and that I should be thankful they're taking us on vacation. They said they can't afford to take me to Europe and this is the best thing they could do. I told they're pieces of poop because I missed my friend's birthday party for this boring-ass trip in the middle of nowhere in Georgia, and this was like some fricked-up joke that everyone knew about but me. My parents, of course, keep screaming at me saying I'm a disrespectful brat, and I told them to go frick themselves, and I elbowed the car window in my anger several times, breaking it but cutting myself. I ran on a bus going to Atlanta, and my parents are telling me to come back. I told them to frick off, and I called my friend who used to go to my school but goes to university in Atlanta. He picked me up, and I've been at his place with his GF since school got canceled in Missouri not soon after. My parents went from being furious to being worried and are begging me to come back. I told them to frick off, not the idiot. Yes, I know. Ungrateful. Love of Greece is a phase. Overreacting like a teenage girl, blah blah teenager stuff. But there's something especially cruel about watching someone get super excited about something and then toy Yoda-ing them. Everyone sucks here, but mostly your parents. You should not have broken a rental car window. I would really have assumed that's common sense before reading this. I guess how much of an you are depends on if it was intentional or not. Your parents tricked you deliberately, let you plan your whole trip for weeks, let your excitement build up, and then pulled the rug out from under you. That's incredibly cruel. You aren't an idiot for leaving. If you're in a safe environment, it is totally reasonable to want space after feeling betrayed and hurt like this. I'm really sorry that you went through this. Be sure to keep that cut clean.